Good morning, India. And breaking right now for our viewers in Telangana is the rise in the number of COVID-19 positive cases to 4. The details are coming in right now. Yes, the number has finally risen to 4 in our state. Also breaking right now is the total number of coronavirus cases so far in India, which is now at 128. Authorities just revealing that Maharashtra has been the worst hit and Odisha also now joining the list. Also, India reports its third coronavirus fatality, and that too from Maharashtra. This morning, we also find out that India has now barred entry to even the Indians who are coming back from the European Union, Turkey and the United Kingdom. Just into its 7th week now since the first case of coronavirus was detected on the 30th of January this year. The Indian health officials are claiming that 6 feet separation is indeed our best weapon right now. Social distancing is the need of the hour. Last but certainly not the least, COVID-19 has finally managed to rattle Bollywood as well, because the filmmakers have now decided to unite to help the industry's daily wage workers. From CVR English live at Jubilee Hills, Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. This is Good Morning India. So grab your coffee or chai and let's get right to that first breaking news of the coronavirus today. Friends, let me begin by telling you that right now I have been scrolling through the major English newspapers that have hit my news desk today. I have a copy of the Deccan Chronicle right here. I also have the Huns India as well as the Times of India, and going by my research of all these latest English newspapers, I can once again promise you that coronavirus once again, just like every day, is again managing to make the top headlines amongst all the different topics and sectors that we have that are making news this morning. Amongst all these news-making contenders, coronavirus easily takes the cake or the trophy today as well. Let me tell you, friends, that 128 positive cases have been registered in India so far. Well, that is the registered count by today, which is Wednesday. The unregistered count, well, that count can be much higher than that, and I'm sure that it is. As per the reports, the count in Maharashtra today has touched 40, which makes it the worst hit state in the country. And one more case has been reported in Gurgaon. However, the health ministry is still insisting on only 114 cases till now. That is quite interesting. Looks like the health ministry is quite unwilling to reveal the true facts and figures, the real numbers. Odisha too joins the list of COVID-19 hit states and becomes the 15th state in the country to report a positive case so far. In the wake of the constant rise in the number of the registered cases of the COVID-19 in our country, it only makes sense for our health ministry to propose measures in advisory to all the states to try to delay the peak of this outbreak, as the delayed peak will further help us to save a lot of lives and illness. Now, under the Health Ministry's advisory, like I have already told you, all schools, colleges, universities, gymnasiums, museums, cultural and social centers, public swimming pools and theatres have been completely shut down. Students have been advised to stay back at home, and online education is now being promoted. And the center has also asked the various state boards to try to explore the possibility of trying to postpone the ongoing exams. And if that is not possible at all, then the exam centers have been told to ensure that physical distance of at least 1 meter, yes, let me repeat, at least 1 meter of physical distance amongst the students is required to be maintained at all times. At the same time, what about the private sector? So, IT firms are now allowing their employees to now work from home wherever it is feasible. All kinds of meetings in the private sector are to be avoided from now, and if they are completely unavoidable, if the topics to be discussed in these meetings are the very grave and serious topics and cannot be put away or avoided for a later date, then they should be conducted only through video conferencing. In a rare move in the history of India, let me tell you that the temples and the religious community has also been hit hard by the COVID-19, as all the major temples that usually witness large gatherings have also finally been asked to shut down at least till the 31st of March. For example, as all of you might have heard of the Siddhivinayak temple in Mumbai. Now, the Siddhivinayak temple is among several other temples in Mumbai which has now been closed for the devotees. The center has also announced that all ASI protected monuments, like you might not know what's the full form of ASI. So, monuments that come under the official protection of the Archaeological Survey of India, or the ASI. And that includes monuments like Taj Mahal and the Ajanta Ellora and central museums. So, these monuments will also remain shut for the general public till the 31st of March. And several states including Maharashtra and Assam have also shut down their wildlife sanctuaries. Now, these are certain extremist measures which are being taken by the states in our country to ensure all possible containment of this virus, which is a very prudent decision which has been taken by the several state governments in our country. Very wise, very prudent, and indeed the need of the hour. Meanwhile, due to the rising coronavirus panic, our country has now barred the entry for even the Indian nationals, our own citizens, our own Indians who are coming back to the country from the European Union, Turkey or the United Kingdom. In measures which have been aimed to contain the COVID-19, the government on Tuesday extended the ban beyond the affected countries and has prohibited the entry of all the passengers, including all the Indian nationals from the European Union, Turkey and the United Kingdom. Now, those who are returning from the UAE or Qatar or Oman or Kuwait have to strictly undergo a compulsory quarantine for the minimum period of 14 days as well. So, these people who are returning from the above mentioned states and countries cannot skip the compulsory quarantine which they have to go through, and this compulsory quarantine is being set for a minimum period of 2 weeks, a fortnight or 14 days. Meanwhile, here in Telangana, our very own home, Telangana, a 46-year-old man who had just recently returned from Scotland about 4 days ago, has also tested positive for COVID-19 in the city on this Monday, thereby taking the total number of affected people in Telangana up to 4. The state health authorities had sent his blood and swab samples to the National Institute of Virology in Pune for the confirmatory tests to be conducted. And these tests have now returned. The results have come back to us, and these results are stating that the man has indeed tested positive. However, a senior health official is now claiming that the patient's health is quite stable and he is currently undergoing treatment at the isolation ward of the Gandhi Hospital, the state-run Gandhi Hospital. The health department's surveillance team has also begun contact tracing people that he might have come in contact with during these recent times after his return from Scotland. The officials, while speaking to CVR English, were also very quick to add in a very interesting way that the other 3 COVID-19 positive patients in our state who have also been admitted to Gandhi Hospital were quite stable and recovering. At the same time, all the people who might have come in contact with these 3 patients have also been identified, and they are also under constant observation by the medical team at the Gandhi Hospital. The first positive patient, the very first positive patient who had been tested long back in Telangana. Now, the medical officials from the Gandhi Hospital are quick to tell us that this very first positive patient from Telangana has now completely recovered, and therefore he has been discharged from the Gandhi Hospital on the 13th of March. And even before I can close on the COVID-19 updates right here, even before I can close on these updates, just right now friends, an update has arrived at our studio, fresh from the oven. And I would like to tell you that the total number of coronavirus cases in our country has now, and let me tell you, just now, by just now I mean like literally just now, it has now risen nearly to 130 after 2 more fresh cases were reported just now in the country. So there we are. This is where we stand in our country right now, with more and more fresh COVID-19 cases being reported at the drop of a hat. And that's why I keep telling you people that right now, personal hygiene, personal space and our own immunity is the best defense right now. Your safety lies in your own hands. So start taking good care of yourselves now itself, because your immunity is the only defense against the virus, and your immunity is the one which is going to take you a long way ahead in this fight against the coronavirus. Meanwhile, talking about the safety measures to be adopted to avoid the coronavirus infection, a latest video on Twitter and Instagram, and that too of an Italian man wearing a large disc to enforce a certain amount of social distance, is going viral, and Twitter is loving it. Italy, let me tell you, because this is an Italian man and he hails from Italy. Italy is one of the countries that has been hit the hardest by the novel coronavirus, because we have the maximum number of fatalities and the maximum number of positive cases coming from Italy right now. Out of all the countries in the world, it is Italy which has been consistently and constantly reporting the maximum numbers in terms of deaths as well as in terms of the positive cases that are being constantly reported, and that makes Italy, out of all the countries of the world, the reddest zone possible. Out of all the red zones available, Italy should probably be the scarlet red zone or the blood red zone right now. So this Italian man was caught on social media wearing a large disc around him to ensure social distance from the other people at a market store. Now I'll tell you what happened. So public figures across the world have been encouraging the people to avoid any form of physical contact and maintain a certain amount of personal space, which means that hugs and handshakes have now been replaced with the Indian traditional form of greeting, which is a namaste. So probably every day when I come to the CVR English studio every morning to meet all of you, I should also start my day with namaste to all of you. Now this Italian man, coming back to the topic, this Italian man gave an innovative twist to this so-called social distancing and decided to wear a 1 meter radius disc around him during his market stroll. During one of his strolls when he had gone to the general market or probably one of the supermarkets where he was busy shopping, he decided to wear this 1 meter radius disc around him to safeguard himself. Now Twitterati is calling him one hell of a genius. On a serious note, over 1,000 lives have already been lost in Italy due to the coronavirus, and therefore the medical officials are now taking a cue from this Italian man to further propagate the importance of social distancing. And now is the time for everyone, seriously, now is the time for everyone to stop any kind of unessential contact with others, because contact, especially physical contact with anybody right now, can be one of the biggest ways, can be one of the quickest ways of transmission of the coronavirus from one person to the next. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for me to officially announce Bollywood news. Time for some Bollywood now. Bollywood that everybody loves. Bollywood that is synonymous with India. So when the entire country is being hit by the coronavirus right now, how can Bollywood be left behind? Because Bollywood in itself is a culture in India. Amid the corona crisis, Bollywood could not have been left far behind. India, as I told you, is synonymous with Bollywood, but it is also synonymous with one more thing, and that is cricket. And as I have already been telling you during the recent episodes of Good Morning India, cricket has already been hit hard by this virus, and so now it makes sense for me to say that it is Bollywood's turn. Now, what has been happening currently in Bollywood? So let me tell you that the Bollywood filmmakers are uniting to finally help the industry's daily wage workers like makeup artists, spot boys and technicians who will be hit the most due to the industry shutdown. And this news has arrived at my news desk just now from Hyderabad Times and also the Deccan Chronicle right here. So these newspapers and the entertainment section of these latest copies of newspapers from today are telling me that after all, it is quite understandable. This scary outbreak has brought the entire world to a standstill and shaken the entire global economy. Now, the Indian film industry, which is probably the sole source of income and livelihood for many people, has been badly hit as well. On this Sunday, the last Sunday, the Producers Guild of India released an official statement stating that all shoots have to be suspended from the 19th of March, that is tomorrow, till the end of the month, till the 31st of March, for the safety of all the members of the film fraternity. While those people who are on payroll will still be able to survive, the daily wage workers will be most hit by this crisis. So, in a bid to look after them, Anubhav Sinha has proposed a plan, a personal plan. And soon we realized that other famous filmmakers like Sudhir Mishra, Anurag Kashyap, Hansal Mehta, Vikramaditya Motwane, Nikhil Advani and Rahul Dholakia have also joined in as the special Bollywood task force against the coronavirus. So what we realized when we studied this news and when we researched it, we realized that setting up a fund is quite a complex process, and most of these plans are very difficult to implement because they require the involvement of a large number of people. And all these people need to be having the same bent of mind, the same thought process, and they need to be on the same page to come to a consensus in order to build a fund. However, that is not the possibility right now. It does not look like a possibility in the near future as well. So the filmmakers have thought of doing this at a personal level, because at the personal level they can start early and they can start quick. So they will start by supporting the daily wage workers of all their previous films. So the workers, the daily wage workers who have been associated with these filmmakers on all their previous films that they have worked on together. The filmmakers have already asked the different heads of the departments to inform the workers that they could let these filmmakers know if they are facing any problems, and the body will see what best it can do to alleviate their situations. The filmmakers will also try to raise money if it is required. Surely, I must say that it is a thoughtful move on behalf of the filmmakers, the producers and the directors, the ones who have the money and the resources to step forward and reach out to those who have much more meager incomes, living hand to mouth. After all, given the kind of money that these filmmakers mint per movie, they can easily survive comfortably for at least 3 to 4 months without even working. But those people who work on a daily basis cannot. So I think that Anubhav's plan is a simple, effective plan, a simple, effective way of reaching out to those in need. And most of these filmmakers usually stick to the people that they work with on all their films. So if all these filmmakers can help their respective crew members right now at this time, then they will be well covered and taken good care of. And it is a good, thoughtful way of giving back to these workers for their untiring efforts. And what better time to do so than now, when they really need the filmmakers and the producers' support, isn't it? And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a pause, let's take a halt to think about the worldwide news and the worldwide medical news, keeping in mind that it is the coronavirus which is hitting us and our health right now. We are certainly much more interested in medical science and medical updates rather than Bollywood and cricket, isn't it? So last but not the least, coming to the most important topic, the most important discussion and analysis of the day is the worldwide medical news. What has been going on in the scientific research community so far, since we are all interested in medicine right now, especially because we are all relying on effective drugs to combat this novel virus which has plagued us of late. Turns out that the growing number of hoaxes that are popping up online, from false claims about treatments for the coronavirus infection to fake headlines about even celebrities who might have contracted it. Now, these are the stories that have been spreading fast in the market. These are uncertain times for so many people like us, for people like you, for people like me, and the people who work along with me, even my spot boy. And as we all learn more about the coronavirus, there are bad actors out there who are literally trying to muddy the waters and trying to scam our people, with officials alerting the public time and again and fighting back against these people, these scammers, these hoaxers. This morning, as the number of coronavirus fatalities increases in our country, so too do internet scams and hoaxes. Like Facebook, for instance, where fake posts offering tips from doctors are also cropping up. Officials are warning the public not to fall for these fake cures being peddled by some medical companies and individuals, possibly trying to scam the consumers with their so-called claims, the false claims. And let me tell you that in the United States of America, earlier last week, the FTC and the FDA have already issued warnings to 7 companies who have been accused of selling unapproved or misbranded products claiming that they can treat or cure COVID-19 with essential ingredients like teas, essential oils, and even colloidal silver. And rumors have also been circulating on social media that mass transit in Telangana, back home in our very own Telangana, would soon die down. Well, this rumor is so viral right now that I must step up on behalf of CVR and address it right now. Well, friends, there is a lot of misinformation out there on social media, and one tweet in particular is false. Contrary to what it says, there are now plans by the Telangana government to shut down roadways or the Hyderabad metro. Text, email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, and it's there everywhere. This is so frustrating, and especially at a time when there is so much fear and anxiety about this virus, and it puts people at risk, both financially as well as medically and physically. So how do you tell fact from fiction? Well, I think in medicine, when something sounds so good to be true, it usually is, and I cannot emphasize the importance of this enough. Communication of this misinformation is a part of a bigger irresponsibility towards the global health crisis. And we as responsible individuals and citizens of our country need to do all that we can to ensure that we are safe and not play with each other's health. Well, friends, having said that, the headlines today are once again flooded with COVID-19 predominantly, and this is not surprising, considering the fact that the total number of COVID-19 positive patients has now exceeded 128. My job is to bring a detailed analysis of these headlines to you so that you don't have to spend extra time on a newspaper just to catch up with the latest headlines, keeping in mind how busy you are. Well, the day has just started. There's a lot to accomplish, a lot to achieve, and I know that you will. After all, you can take on the world only if you are up to date with it, which by now you already are. I'm sure you must be done with your cup of chai or filter coffee as well, and once again, wash your hands with soap and water regularly, practice personal hygiene, avoid shaking hands with one another, stick to the Indian form of greeting, say namaste to each other, maintain reasonable distance from the crowd while traveling in public transport, drink lots of water, and keep your throat moist, as the COVID-19 is a very sticky virus. It tends to stick to your skin and your passages. So if you want to flush it out of your system, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And one more reason why you want to be drinking more water is that hydrochloric acid in your stomach does not allow this virus to survive. Also, eat healthy, eat fruits and vegetables, get some vitamin C in your body, get some exercise, sleep well, and keep your immunity up, because right now your immunity is your best weapon against the virus. And speaking of easing people's fears in this incredibly stressful moment, I have some practical tips for managing your anxiety. At a time when we are all being bombarded with scary news about the virus, it is hard not to be anxious. So how to deal with it? Here are some practical tips to deal with your anxiety right now. So get enough sleep, move your body. If you're feeling isolated, call a friend or somebody you can trust. Stay informed, but don't obsess. And finally, meditation has been shown to help. So stay alert and stay safe. On that precautionary note, it's time for me to say bye-bye to all of you until tomorrow, when we will catch up once again with the latest dose of the hottest headlines from across Telangana and across the world. Until then, on behalf of CVR English, this is your host Anukriti Govind Sharma signing off. Take care, and once again, a very, very good morning, India.